So this is the patio
This
door
is the patio door
that Jack and Lily would have.
that Jack and Lily came out of.
Okay.
If I had just gotten up, this would have never happened. That's what Jack and Lily's step-grandmother said, holding back tears as she stood near the swing set where they were last seen. I love those kids so much, bright and promising babies. Before we continue, hit subscribe now. It's not just a button, it's your proof that you stand for Jack and Lily and for protecting children everywhere. Like and share this video so what happened here doesn't happen to another child. The patio door. It wasn't silent. It never was. It creaked, just slightly, enough that any other morning someone would have heard it. A small clatter as it slid along its track, a muffled thud as it closed. A sound that could have changed everything. But that morning no one heard it. It was May 2nd. 2025, a Friday, in the quiet stretch of Pictou County, Nova Scotia, where gravel roads wind through forests and neighbors rarely lock their doors, where the loudest sounds are birds at dawn or children laughing as they run barefoot in the grass. That morning, Jack Sullivan, just 4 years old, and his sister Lily, only 6, vanished from their home on Gearlock Road. They were last seen playing by the swings, Lily calling to her brother in her small, excited voice. "Come on, Jackie. Let's go, Jackie." Just another ordinary morning in a place where nothing like this was supposed to happen. But as the hours passed, that ordinary morning dissolved into fear. Family members searched the yard, calling out, voices cracking with panic. The RCMP were called. Search and rescue teams arrived, spreading out into the thick woods that pressed against the property, a green wall that suddenly felt like it was hiding something. Helicopters circled overhead. Canine units followed faint trails. Drones mapped the forest floor, each shadow a possibility, each rustle a false hope. For 11 weeks, the search continued. It turned from hopeful to desperate, from routine sweeps to forensic grids. The pink blanket torn in two, a single boot print in the mud, rumors swirling online, each more sinister than the last. And as the search grew darker, so did the questions. How could 2 children disappear in broad daylight, just steps from their home? Who was the last to see them? And why, in a place so small, did no one hear the sound of that patio door? It began like any other morning. At 6 a.m., Janie Mackenzie, Jack and Lily's step-grandmother, made herself a cup of tea. She sat quietly, the steam rising as dawn light filtered through the small kitchen window of her RV. By 7, she was scrolling through Facebook, checking updates, losing track of time in the endless scroll, as so many of us do in the early morning calm. At 8:48, her brother Ron called, asking if she wanted to head into town with him. She declined. She decided to stay home, to go back to bed, to rest just a little longer. It was, in every way, an ordinary morning in Pictou County. A morning with no warning that chaos was about to unfold. Outside, the yard was quiet. 2 swings hung from their chains, swaying gently in the breeze, the grass beneath them pressed flat from small feet that had played there every day. The trailer sat only steps away, the patio door visible from where Janie's RV rested. Everything was close, familiar, safe. Most mornings, the air would be filled with the children's voices. Lily's small, bright voice calling out, "Come on, Jackie, let's go. Come on, Jackie, let's go." It was a constant refrain, echoing through the yard as they ran from the swings to the edge of the trees. A game only they understood, a song of childhood, that wrapped itself around the property like a promise. But that morning, those words never came. Instead, there was a silence so heavy it pressed against the windows. A silence that settled in the yard, where the swings stood still, in the woods where the children's laughter should have rung out, in the hearts of everyone who would spend that day searching, calling their names, hoping to hear just one small voice calling back. It was the morning that turned an ordinary day into a nightmare, and it started with a quiet cup of tea, a phone call, a decision to stay home, and a silence that no one was prepared for. And then the silence was broken. Janie heard Daniel's voice outside, calling out into the yard, his tones strained, urgent. Jack, Lily, his voice cut across the stillness, echoing off the trees. At first, Janie didn't get up. She thought he was calling them to come inside, as he often did when they wandered too far from the swings. She thought it was nothing, just another call on another morning. But the next sound pulled her from her bed. She stepped outside, the trailer door swinging open, and there stood Malia, the children's mother, holding Meadow, just a year old, on her hip. Her face was pale, her eyes searching, her voice carrying the words Janie would never forget. Jack and Lily are missing. Janie's heart dropped. How long? She asked, her voice catching. Malia's answer felt like a knife in the air. About 20 minutes. 20 minutes, long enough for two small children to disappear into the thick woods. Long enough for a nightmare to take root. Janie didn't hesitate. She closed the door, pulled on her boots, and stepped into the yard, scanning the swings that now hung still, scanning the edges of the trees, where she had seen them play so many times before. Then she ran, into the woods, where the terrain turned against her with every step. Fallen trees from past storms lay like barricades, forcing her to climb and weave. Bushes tore at her clothes and scratched at her skin. The underbrush tangled around her boots, threatening to trip her with every hurried step. An old dirt road wound through the trees, climbing up a hill where the forest felt darker, quieter, as if it too was holding its breath. She called their names into the trees, listening for a small voice to call back, listening for the laughter that should have been there, that needed to be there. Hope gripped her, forcing her forward, pushing her to check every hiding place, every fort made of sticks, every trail where small feet could have wandered. But fear was closing in, pressing on her chest with each unanswered call, each empty clearing, each step deeper into the woods where the children's voices should have been. The RCMP launched a full-scale operation. Drones in the sky, dogs on the ground, helicopters sweeping over the forest. The terrain was brutal, scarred by Fiona's storm, fallen trees, thick underbrush, twisted trails, and after days of searching, only 2 small boot prints were found, and a pink blanket, one piece caught in a tree near an ATV trail, another used to cover a window, later found in the family's trash. A pink blanket, 2 footprints, and 1,000 questions. Daniel's story about the blanket changed. First he said it wasn't Lily's, then it was. Then he claimed it was planted in their trash. Malia's family tension surfaced. Rumors of a heated altercation in the driveway that morning. Whispers about maths found in the bathroom, fueling a storm of suspicion. The more they talked, the less clear the truth became. Wandering off, abduction, family dispute, each theory casting a new shadow, each one turning hope into doubt. Tension-building music begins as these theories overlay on screen, one by one. Narrator calm, serious tone. Drones hovered over the property. Cars slowed down to stare. In small towns, Rumors travel faster than truth. Whispers of body disposal. Drugs, a family cover-up. But the pink blanket, it became the center of everything. Torn in two, found in two places. A piece caught in a tree, near an ATV trail. Another used to cover a window, later tossed into the trash. Daniel's story kept shifting. First he said the blanket wasn't Lily's. Then it was. Then he claimed it was planted. Timelines blurred. Statements conflicted. If the blanket could talk, it might end this nightmare. But silence remains. And for Janie, Lily and Jack's step-grandmother, that silence is heavy. Defensive, grief-stricken, isolated. She believes the children are still alive, but hope in Pictou County is now tangled with fear. For Janie, for Daniel, for everyone tied to this family, the toll has been relentless. Community vigils light up the evenings in Pictou County. Small candles flicker beside teddy bears, lined up under trees, silent witnesses to a pain too heavy for words. Each stuffed animal is a prayer, each candle, a promise that Jack and Lily won't be forgotten. Frustration grows as the RCMP release only small updates, never enough to silence the rumors or ease the fear. Weeks pass, then months, and the tips slow down. For the rest of the world, summer days continue, school buses roll on, and people move forward. But for this family, time stopped on May 2nd. Every dawn feels the same, an unending loop of waiting, searching and wondering. Where are Jack and Lily? And why hasn't anyone come forward with the truth? Jack and Lily are innocent. They deserve to come home. Janie holds on to that belief with every breath, that Jack and Lily are alive somewhere, waiting to be found. Despite the silence, despite the rumors, despite the passing days, the RCMP continues their investigation, following every tip, every lead, every shadow that might bring these children home. And there is still hope. A $150,000 reward remains on the table for information leading to Jack and Lily. It's not just about a case. It's about two children who deserve to be safe, to be found, to be hugged again. If you know anything at all, contact the RCMP. No detail is too small. No tip is too late. Your information could be the missing piece that brings Jack and Lily home. Overlay Crime Stoppers hotline and RCMP tip line appear on screen. And while the search continues, you can help right now. Like this video, share it, comment where you're watching from. Each share keeps this story alive. Each comment pushes it into more eyes that might hold the truth. And subscribe, because subscribing is not just following a story. It's proving that you care, that you stand for Jack and Lily, and for every missing child who deserves to be found. This isn't just a case, it's a call to protect children everywhere. A reminder that in quiet towns and familiar streets, the unthinkable can still happen, and that we have a responsibility to care, to watch, and to act. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on Jack and Lily, or any child who still needs a voice. Because together we can keep hope alive for Jack and Lily Sullivan, and for every child still waiting to come home.